If you want to learn the process to embodying and empowering the feminine spirit, then check out the book, Healing the Feminine Energy and the Wounds of Your Inner Child. What's up, guys? So in this video, we're going to be speaking about why women need men and why men also need women. And this is a topic that's close to my heart in many ways because I'm always talking about unity, teamwork, togetherness, and so on, right? And I'm joined by the lovely
Iman,
right? And she does a lot of energy healing. She does women's circles. She's a practitioner at festivals too, you know, wonderful stuff. So if you want to check out her stuff, go to her channel. I'll link it in the description, and also her TikTok and Instagram pages. But anyway, we're speaking about, you know, why women and men need each other. And we have this narrative in this particular culture, because it's not in every single culture that it's like this, where everything is so based on individualism and what can I do for myself, by myself, self. And in some ways, you know, being for yourself is good. It's good to be able to depend on yourself and know that you got things. But then sometimes we can go too far, right? So is there anything that comes up for you, you know, when you think about that particular, you know, topic?
I think it's a narrative that as a woman, this is also quite close to my heart too, because this was my journey before this moment, or before the work that I started doing on myself. And this is the journey of a lot of women that I speak to, and a lot of it comes from places of childhood trauma. But let me tell you, hyper independence in a woman is not a flex. It is not what we want to be doing. It actually leads to burnout. It's not nurturing the feminine energy. It does not help serve us as women. In fact, we devalue ourselves by going into hyper independence. And I think there is something to be said for self-sufficiency, is what I'm going to call it, versus, you know, complete independence. But yeah, hyper independence doesn't feel good for a woman. If she's truly tapped in, she'll recognize that, because it will eventually lead to burnout and lots of other issues.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that you won't see it straight away. So when you burn yourself out, of course, in the moment you feel good. But what happens, and what I see, is many women will, let's say, I see their comments on my stuff where they will continuously use the words exhausted, tired. It feels like a heavy weight on my shoulders. And these are the words that they say, right? And it's consistent. So I know this is the experience of many women. So you don't actually see it at first. So when you get this information, you might be thinking to yourself, because you think with your ego, you're like, no, I don't need to listen to that stuff. But over time, let's say it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years, where the work you was doing before, and you're in this mindset of don't need anyone, then the consequences of that you start to feel it, but it's after a while. But the problem is you've then built a life that is based on you just exhausting yourself. So then it's hard to come out of, you know? I talk about that in my book, Healing the Feminine Energy, where you could create a life based on, you know, this hyper independence, and then you feel trapped. And, you know, you don't want to be in a situation where now it's no choice of yours. Like you have no choice but to do it, you know? But is there anything that comes to mind?
That's an issue that a lot of women have faced, like having to step into that space of heavy masculine energy and influence because of societal conditioning, familial environments, or whatever it is, because it's a way to give themselves worth and value in this society, instead of actually recognizing that being inherently in your natural expression as a woman is valuable, is of value. And so you're right, you won't see it as it happens, but through various situations and experiences, you're then sort of finding yourself in that space. And so to try and then sort of unlearn and relearn a different way of being can be really challenging.
Exactly, yeah. So I guess the other aspect we could also talk about is men also needing women. So, we spoke about the fact that women need men, and I think that's kind of a bigger thing from my opinion anyway, because there's this whole narrative of strong, independent women. But you could be strong and interdependent. That's how I like to think of it anyway. But then for men, there is also that aspect too, where it's like, we have this whole, fuck bitches, get money type of mindset. But if you look at women in that way, you won't benefit from all of the greatness that they can add to the team. And also, why would women come to you with the greatness of their feminine energy if you aren't a guy that values that inclusion in your relationship or in your team, right? So I prefer to look at it as we are different and we're not equal in function, but we are equal in value. And there are things that your woman could bring to you that you just won't see it because you're a man. Like, it's just different perspectives. So is there anything that comes up for you, especially when you consider that this makes a woman feel valued in a relationship too?
I think all of those are really important aspects, and recognizing our differences and recognizing what each person brings to the cultivation of that unity is a really powerful thing. When you have sort of defined roles, it's easier to navigate a relationship because there are almost set expectations. I would want to be the more nurturing one in the relationship. I would want my man to feel like he can come to me when he needs that extra nurturing, and I would want to come to him for that extra support in terms of structure or strategy, because that's where his strengths lie. And so it's almost like you're cultivating and building this foundation of a beautiful unity and relationship based on each other's strengths. And I think that's a normal way to function, and I think it's a very healthy way to function, where we're each drawing on each other's strengths and then actually just allowing ourselves to express them, but then also bringing them out in the other. And you can only really do that if you recognize that you need the other. At the end of the day, we were built to be in unity together. We were designed to be in unity together. So why would we want to fight God's design?
Yeah, and it's literally almost like punishing yourself. You can get the other side of the jigsaw puzzle by just accepting and dropping your ego. It doesn't make you worse off because we need each other, or we need, assistance, or we can do better with, someone taking on a different role in the team. It's like you could have the greatest football player of all time. It really doesn't matter. But if he is just playing for himself, or if he's playing by himself, he would never be as effective. But if he has other people who are good in their positions, then everyone benefits. There's no problem at all. But we'll wrap it up here. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
I really liked that football analogy, and I'll give you one of my own to close. But the yin-yang sign is a beautiful analogy of how the two parts come together. And if you have a look at the sign closely, you'll see that one is the feminine energy predominantly with a little bit of masculine, and one is the masculine energy predominantly with a little bit of the feminine, in recognition of our natural expressions, but also in recognition of the harmony that needs to come, that is built, and that the unity that happens when we come together. We just fit so perfectly in the sort of natural expressions of the way we were designed.
Exactly. We can't fight nature, so you might as well make it work for you. But anyway, that will be the end of the video. As I said, if you want to check out her stuff, it will be in the description. But also, if you want to check out my book, Healing the Feminine Energy, and the second part to the series, Nurturing Your Feminine Energy, just came out. Go on Amazon, you can get that, or link in bio. But also, we have a book too that we've co-authored. So tell them about it.
It's a free ebook on 5 things that hurt your femininity. So if you're looking to get back into your feminine energy, this is a great way to identify where you might be going wrong and how to correct it. So check it out.
All right, perfect. So see you in the next video. Peace. More than any other time in human history, a restoration, a repair, a respect for the feminine energy is needed. And if you want to check out the process to healing the feminine energy, then you can check out the book, which is available digitally or in print form.